Five Nights at Freddy's. We all know her. Not again! The bit is dead. The Secret of the Mimic is out. The game that refused to get any advertisement. And to their credit, I think no advertisement could beat the ultimate weapon of interest. I don't know how I feel about this game coming out. The last Steel Wool game left me mixed, to say the least. I didn't hate the open world aspect of Security Breach, but the bugs, terrible save system, and lack of cohesion in story and game left me disappointed a lot of the times. But then Ruin came out, and although it wasn't the biggest or the best showcase, it did provide an example for a more linear structure of gameplay. And in my opinion, it worked a lot better and actually left me wanting more. This is when I would normally talk about the game's history, concepts, or overall public perception. However, finding info on this game's upbringing is a task not even Nardwuar could complete. So let me tell you my personal predictions and hopes for this game before we, dive into it. 1. I would love for them to keep going into the gameplay loop of somewhat linearity that Ruin brought to the table. However, I would also love a more traditional approach as well. It has been a long time since we've gotten the proper sit-down FNAF style. I know this one is free roam, but it would be cool if they sprinkled in some survive for blank amount of time gameplay loops. Maybe it will act like a passing of the hour, like in Security Breach when you did something big in the game, an hour would pass. I'm fine with the gameplay style that they have laid out forward in Ruin, but I feel like it would be a lot more charming if it did keep the concept of the original FNAF games in mind. Because as it stands, it feels more like they're trying to do a Poppy playtime and not an actual FNAF game. 2. This is a horror game? Question mark? I will be honest, other than anxiety over some chase scenes, Security Breach 99% of the time didn't really scare me. Luckily, with the more old-timey direction the game is going for, I can see a lot of potential in the scare factor. I find a suit like this to be a lot more scary than a tall, toy-looking bear. This game should slow down, let some tension build, and really play into the scare factor to make it feel not only more scary, but more like an actual FNAF game like in the first few. The first game was structured off that slow building tension after all. Every noise, every glance of the animatronics filled you with dread and anxiety. This game, especially being more of a prequel and a return to classics in a design philosophy, should promote this by making it feel a lot more like those older games, and how scary they could be even with doing so little. And lastly, but probably the least, 3. Make a compelling standalone story. Let's all be honest, the story for Security Breach was straight cheeks. I don't like how a big setup for the game, Vanny, was shown and set up more thoroughly in Help Wanted in FNAF AR. It made her feel lifeless since we didn't really actually get that much story with her in the actual game. And if anything, this and their usage of her made her feel extremely underwhelming. So obviously I hope they set up the Mimic more in-game and not just in the books. But more importantly, I want this game to stop trying to make me like the characters. I'll say it, Gregory and Glamcock Freddy. They are obviously gunning for you to try and connect with Gregory, yet by the end, I know nothing about him other than the fact that he's homeless. And Freddy being friendly makes these already unscary character designs even more harmless. My mind makes them feel more like humans than an actual threat that is stalking and waiting to jump at you. When they feel more human than robot, they lose a lot of the charm that you actually want to get with these games. That is why I think something like Music Man is actually scary in his own way in the game, feeling uncanny and robotic in a cool way that makes him feel terrifying to go up against. In essence, drop caring about the MC. Michael worked since the games didn't prioritize him in a direct way. Build up the world, threats, story about the Mimic instead of the MC that doesn't enhance the scare factor one bit. Now that I gave you my wish list on the stupid Mimic game, I guess I should play and rant about the stupid Mimic game. Before we even get into the game, I feel like complaining. $40 goddamn dollars. I hope this is worth it. I like gameplay trailers or just promotional media as a whole, so you know what you're getting yourself into at least. But this game has none of that. So you either take a risk and spend over half a game worth of money, or you look up a video on YouTube after the game's been picked apart and pray you don't get any spoilers. It's not a deal breaker. I just hope in the future Steel Wool spends a bit more time marketing their games, so people can get hyped in general and know more about it than one stupidly mysterious trailer. Oh yeah, I should probably get this out of the way now as well. Major spoilers ahead. The game is still relatively new, so I know not everyone who wants to play the full game has yet. I will be going through every mission you go on in game and the story from how I perceived it, at least for the normal and parachute ending. So be warned. Oh yeah, and before we go into the gameplay aspects and whatnot, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It would make my day. I really want to get to like 1,000 subscribers or something really fast. That'd be awesome. But please enjoy. Hey Arnold, how's it going? Pretty fucking good apparently, 36 hours straight, and he is still ready for his next job, right? Arnold, in my opinion, is a great main character for this game. Like I said before, my whole gripe with Gregory is I just felt like he took away from the experience of Security Breach. He talked too much, he felt way more important while still not getting any info on his bum ass. I think that this already makes one of my wishes come true in Arnold. He isn't a big presence, we get to learn about him in the most broad way possible. He's a repairman that is overworked by the incredibly amazing Fazbear Entertainment. He wants to go home but has to take up one last job at the abandoned Murray's Costume Manor for some schematics on one of their older projects that can adapt to any suit in both action and voice. But a little catch is there has been some odd movement detected, but don't fret. The voice said it was nothing. That's about it. He almost only talks when he is in the intermission of the office, playing out the role of a worker in distress perfectly, leading to the game being a lot more gameplay and horror focused because you feel like he's just some guy doing his job like any average Joe. The other big character, at least speaking wise, is Dispatch. I'll go further detail into him later when I need to talk about some theories about the story and whatnot, but I love him as well because he helps you figure out your next move and objective. And even beyond that, I kind of found him a bit humorous and relatable, being this big corporate guy who doesn't care about the concerning aspects of your job while enticing you with a glorious $25 gift certificate. You get to the manor, but before leaving the van, you need the data driver, a simple yet technically amazing device that helps you do just about anything in the manor. Whether it be opening doors, accessing mail, the inventory, or just upgrading, this thing is just about needed for every section of the game. I love how this is used in two main ways. One, of course, is the progression. The simplicity of just going around the building, doing stupid shit, and praying you can find an upgrade station so you can get closer to the executive permissions for the schematics is perfect. It keeps the overall goal simple in nature so you can easily tell what you need to do next to progress, while not giving you answers on what you'll actually be facing. And the secondary is backtracking. Being able to see where many places lead early in the game without having a way to get there is super useful in being able to understand the layout of the map without overcomplicating it. Arnold goes through the side to get in passing a lot of weird junk, and in general shows the disrepair of the place, showing that this is not one that is visited often. You go in, you get your extra underwear for the pissing you'll be doing, just to be hit with. This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be hell. Shit goes south fast. The power's down and you gotta go through the hallway of nope. I feel like this hallway feels more terrifying because nothing happens in it. You have to restart the generator, another flavor of roadblock that won't be used at the most heart-racing times before you can enter your office. This security office is like most of them you can find around the place. A nice little safe haven just for you. Most have an inventory which can store all of your prizes or useful items like distractions and whatnot. A computer to play Moon.exe, a cool little game that'll be useful for an ending that I didn't get, since I'd rather rip out a third testicle than replay this game. Check the map, and in this office only, run parachute.exe for another ending I did bother to get. Now in this office you have an upgrade station as well, which is used to get the next level onto your data driver, giving you more access to places and things around the manor. Plus, I think the simple but harmless minigame is a nice way to spice up the gameplay and kind of relax a bit. You go back out to the security room to restore power to this side so you can get to your next objective. How do you do that? By doing this puzzle thingy. This will have alterations, sometimes to annoy you, mostly being missing tiles so you can't beat the puzzle, forcing you to go around the place to find tiles so you can get the power going. I piss my pants, go to the inventory for a crank, and piss my pants again before we can finally start some real business. But, a little detour. I won't break down every single section of the map, but this security office section is brilliant. It uses the space wonderfully so you can have access to just about all the big story beats, while also finding unique ways to bring you back here so you feel like you have a central hub of sorts. Something big that always irked me about Security Breach was how big and overcomplicated the mapping was. This game fixes that by giving you one central place to go from place to place, which not only helps keep the map simple and tidy, but also makes this game a treat to figure out your next objective in. Now where were we? Oh yeah, pissing. You run past this lovely little guy and go on trekking up to the daycare for your repair permissions. This, in my opinion, besides the actual daycare section, is the most dull looking mission in the game. The scene goes as follows. You go into the showroom, open up the gift box, revealing Jackie. Not much to that, but is a good way to subvert expectations, yet still have a small scare in there. But what's that noise? Nah, it's my mailbot boy himself. What needs powering? Huh. That might be a bit too violent. I just might need to blur that bit out. Convenient. And there's the dullness. In all truth, this is an amazing action sequence that really shows off how terrifying her slinky arms are. Genuinely nerve-wracking not knowing how big her kill box is while you see these hands slink up at you from the sides. But my problem is that as cool as it is, the environment is straight cheeks. Like, I am in some elaborate plumbing system. This would have been really cool if we broke into some kind of playground-esque thing like the daycare in SB or legit anything else. Another thing I love that this game does is show the gradual degradation of the animatronics. Jackie starts whole, box included, that she scrapped along the ground when she decided to detach herself, gets dirty as fuck from the vents, and gets a minor concussion. Speaking of concussion, and I may be stupid, but how was I supposed to know I was supposed to pull a dumbass lever? My instincts tell me to keep running into the dead end, not towards the beast. You think you reach safety just for Jackie to come back, but in doing so, the vent collapses, leading you right back into the office. Kinda genius. Where's Jackie? Don't worry about it. We're back. And in my opinion, it's a cool way to circle back without even needing to backtrack. Back to the showrooms! You need to backtrack to the welcome section, where you reset the chorus and head on up to the showroom. This place is quite lavish, and the elevators are having a day off. Huh. What the fuck? So I may be, a little bit stupid, but I'm gonna blame the game. Because how was I supposed to know the machine needed to be turned on to the Bob the Builder mode? Yeah, in retrospect, it's obvious. But apparently we keep the repair guide in a safe hallway across the world. Which, may I say, Marie, is an amazing design choice. Okay. I'm no fancy engineer, but that ain't right. Although I actually think that this is probably my favorite of the puzzle dynamics. The power ones are cool, but kind of just easy and samey. But these have some flair, if I shall. Yes, they are guided, but they make you think and kind of just give you a break from the shitty sections. Showrooms, baby! This place is so cool and awesome, and mommy? This hunk of funk is the big top. He wants your tickets, simple as that. Give him your fucking tickets. I am such a badass. Yes, now you need to play stealth ops, dodging, weaving through these mannequins that will make noises if disturbed. I actually like these sections as well. It's a nice minigame of sorts to take your mind off the shitty sections. You turn on the power as Big Top is coming ever so much closer to you and have a fun day. I said I liked it. Not that I liked it 3 times over. This kind of killed it for me in a bit. I still like this section, but come on, man. Doing the same thing 3 times, even if the layout of the mannequins are switched, it's just kind of numbing. You use the tokens on the big boy spinner, and eventually you get the top prize, giving us a trophy. And my 3rd pair soiled through. You do a small upgrade to a creator and go outside. Who the hell are you? Seeing the outside of FNAF is a bit jarring, to be honest. You never see the outside of the places, and it's kind of cool to have it. Oh yeah, and him. I am seeing a funny little pattern where these chase scenes have terrible looking locations. I mean, hey, the chases themselves, fucking awesome. This hulking and frankly terrifying figure sculling towards you the whole time is amazing. But the vibe feels off when the cast of Office is watching. Okay, next step is becoming an admin. This particular station is in the warehouse where we will find lots of fun things to use and abuse. Most notably, rats. See, these rats can be wound up and used to distract the animatronics. In theory, awesome. The execution is flawed. terribly. More on that in a second though. So apparently we need to make a suit. Wait, nah, I ain't gonna get the Willie A treatment here, am I? If I'm being serious, it's kind of cool we finally get to see how Springlocks actually look in game besides, you know, the Abomination. The closest we got was a little sliver in the movies, actually like an actual like Springlock, you know, failure. But seeing the thing that could kill me at a moment's notice is kind of cool. Okay, but to get that, we need to retrieve the other 5 pieces of the suit. Problem is, it's in one long shitty section.
Jackson, just tell us what shitty section is already.
Oh, fine. A shitty section is the core cat and mouse dynamic that this game has. It's pretty similar to Security Reach, but I will be honest, the detection on these boys are kind of immaculate. I think my problem with them is that they are inherently bad sections. They aren't. I just feel like some choices make them more annoying than necessary. Firstly, let's talk about the rats again. I think that it is a great idea to use the sound detection in a weapon. Throw it down to a different floor or just far enough to let you get a break. Genuinely cool, but in this first one alone, they kind of feel decentivized. You need to grab the piece of the animatronic to bring it back to the main hub area and reattach it. While holding the piece, you walk and can't sprint. I find it hard to find a good spot to chuck the rat, pray it doesn't come my way to it, and get it there without something going wrong. At that rate, I feel like the rats are kind of useless when running feels like your strongest tool. But that doesn't matter. This does. I fucking hate the lockers. It's small, yes, I know, but I hate it personally. They give you a false sense of security since you can't see for shit in them. And for 90% of the game, the sound is immaculate. Yeah, I feel like those footsteps are in the walls with how close they always are. I don't mind a tactical hide and go seek gameplay loop, but come on, it's basically just wait until you do something stupid then scurry back into the locker. Even though I do love the layouts of a lot of rooms and the map in general, most don't actually do it in a smart way. The one that immediately comes to mind is the compact with Dolly. Don't worry about it. Where you can go through both halves of the area with a vent way, letting you distract her, whether with a mouse or just some obstacle. I feel like they should have put less emphasis on lockers and more on the layouts with natural cover and distractions. At the moment, there are times you can feel trapped and even bored, which takes away from a lot of the scary aspects of the game. Okay, now where were we again? Oh yeah, you get the 5 parts and enter the suit. Now ain't I a Billy badass? Okay, who cares about that section? Okay, just some target practice and magnet practice and oh yeah. Yarg, ladies! There's your favorite minigame patented by Fazbear Entertainment to let you play in your very play. You will be shooting down pirates, beasts, and cake in the most amazingly okay section that is more of a spectacle of watching the show and the collapse of the theater. Yarg! What the? Oh, it's a bad bitch! It's smashed so hard!
It is very veiny off. What the fuck did I just say?
This is Dolly. She recycles, does random shit, and let's not forget. Oh shit, what was it again? This is an animatronic bound by a conveyor system that allows her to go from path to path to do her duties. Problem is, she'll have her way with you if you're in her way. Now you do a simple puzzle and... Why are Grippy's on the ground? See, only she can go through these special doors blocking you into places while able to go where she pleases. We somehow get out and go through some vents into the bin. Now to be able to get back, we need to go through the power reactor. To go through the power reactor, you need to throw all the trash into the bins. Okay, power reactor. La da 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 la da do do la da dee dee. This is not what I meant when I said you was a hot bitch. This is smaller yet a pretty genius chase. Not only does she look dope as fuck, but this one feels more thematic, taking place in a recycling plant, and at that you use the conveyor belts to actually get away from her, which is pretty awesome. Come on, round 3, get to the elevator and oh, a fun section. This is one of my favorite gameplay beats, making you have to repair the elevator before Stevie Wonder swoops in and you get the funniest advice ever. I don't know, it may just be me, but in a high-stakes situation where I'm about to die, I don't think that this nonchalant-ass voice calling me fat would help. Still a smash. Okay, whew, got in. Last section, this is for the executive powers and the schematics. F this chicken, f this game, f them, that bird again. It's fine, Jackson. You got this. This is a shitty section. We're familiar. Now, why do I hate this bird? She's fast. So my favorite tactic is the Joestar tactic is out the window now. That's kind of it. I apologize for my outburst, but I hated some sections with this bitch. Oh yeah, you need to go through the warehouse to get to the admin wing, if we're being specific. The warehouse itself is fine, aesthetically meh. The only real cool gameplay element is the wipeout course that you make to get to the end. But that part is still somewhat annoying with the tediousness of the controls. Welcome to the best looking part of the game, don't quote me, the admin wing. Hey Carl, how's it going? When'd you get the chicken leg primes? They alert Chica if you get too close, or just kill you themselves if they really feel like it. This place is oddly warm in a game that is either dull or overly bright and faded, making this place feel a lot more older than the rest of the building in a very good rustic way. You get that executive upgrade, then ascend to Edwin's office, where you can go to the monitor room to get those schematics. You descend down to another working area to find I hate you. Yeah, this is probably the scariest yet most confusing beat of the game. You find this thing which has haunted you before. Spoiler alert, that's Edwin's late son's favorite stuffed animal. So in a sense, when you see this mimic, it's different from the normal one. Mainly with how you have to be in the light to avoid death. Meaning you need to hope that this game gives you the right lights to escape. And I also think you need to look at him, but you know, don't quote me, I really don't know what I was doing either. You make it through, find these starlights to give power to certain things to allow you to get back. This is an odd one for me. I love the gameplay segment because it is horrifying, especially when you are in a tight space, afraid to go forward because he could just appear there. But it was also a bit frustrating to try and figure out just what it was it wanted from me. For all I know, it didn't even want me to look at his ass, but I wouldn't know. You get back to the main office, you give up the dye driver, and with that you can leave happily ever after.
Yeah, you're a fire dude.
What? See, if it wasn't obvious, Dispatch was a liar. The Mimic, I think, hijacked the station, feeding him things to do and a mission to achieve. Even though the obvious signs weren't at the start, I do believe the Dispatch was a Mimic from the beginning. Edwin most likely has been dead for quite some time if the normal Fazbears is in full swing, so they must not know about the Mimic or any valuable files that they may want. And they might not even need it at this point. But the Mimic did. It would make sense then why people keep going even though they never return. And since Arnold actually made it to the end, the Mimic is out and ready to get going to security breach. But not before stuffing you into a suit of Freddy and a twisted made up version of such. Oh yeah, parachute.exe thing. You press it and hop under the couch. At this point, Dispatch isn't even trying to hide that he is evil. You make your way back to the welcome performance, this time starting the goodbye show. This is a ruse, you actually goodbye lower until... This is cool, you can tell because another pair of underwear was used. You flip down levers when the elevator stalls and try to get down before he does. 2 death scenes. Is impressive. Anyways, this is familiar. Almost annoyingly familiar. Life-alteringly familiar. Who are you? Don't pay him mind, just find the animatronics, bring them to the lights to lower the power to the doors, and after a bit of trial and error, wham, you're inside. It's like an AI of the wife or something. We need to help her reach her husband. So, we go on a ride.
Alright, so, you're millions in debt. William Affron wants to give you some pointers for some life decisions. Oh yeah, and you're still alone.
Okay, thanks, I guess. Well, this is the wonderful place of Edwin's home and mine for the next however long this takes to edit. So you get the broad strokes on what exactly happened through film reels that you find around the place to get a code to leave. So here's my timeline of sorts, I guess. So Edwin, he's a workaholic. He prioritizes living up to his father's legacy and is a bit neglectful for it. Eventually we learn of that aforementioned stuffed animal and the fact that the wife totally messed up her hardcore run. But she somehow cheated that run and, you know, came back for Davy's next birthday to give him that park outside the building. Oh, I see. So basically, in case you need a refresher on the clear story in gaming, I'm gonna bet that Edwin made the Mimic while grief-stricken. He poured all of his sorrow into it, eventually it worked, but with the side effect of, you know, making him a tad bit murderous somehow. Rant aside, input the code, go upstairs, run cradle.exe, and shit, the place is falling apart. This is probably the most fun chase in the game, especially when you're in that maze, unsure where to go, and have to make split-second decisions against Trash and Gang here. It's really cool. The Mimic died. into your car that was getting swarmed by little shits. Until the reborn bitch himself came and took the data driver, winning all the same. I didn't bother getting the last one. The Mimic's a child, there you go. This game is so much better than Security Breach it hurts. The graphics and look of the place are a lot more suited for horror. The map and overall layout of the game not only feels a lot more smart and tactful, but also a lot better for the cat and mouse segments. The space and flow of the gameplay and story is immaculate, never overstaying in one segment and always tapering off with an amazing chase. Speaking of chases, they're all amazing, using each animatronic's uniqueness to keep you on the edge of your seat. The data driver and interactables are amazing tools to help progress the story and gameplay in a smooth manner. But even though I think that this game is overall an amazing experience that is leaps and bounds better than Steel Wool's first attempt, I do have some problems. 3 big ones to be exact. I already talked about my annoyances with the lack of normal stealth and cool ways to get about the cat and mouse sections, but I also dislike the game's inconsistency. The game is gorgeous in so many sections and has many amazing set pieces like the showroom, admin wing, or daycare. But especially in chases, they all feel kind of bland, boring, and samey. Like the one with Dolly felt more lively than the rest purely just because of the lava. Why couldn't the big top chase be on the roof, or the Jackie chase be in a bigged up daycare and not some bland plumbing area? And lastly, that fucking price point. This game is better than Security Breach for many reasons. Tell me if you want a video of me tearing that game a new one, but Security Breach is more worth it. It's kind of weird. That game, for its faults, is still a quality time, even if I don't exactly love every choice it made. And you could easily sink in 20 hours doing all missions, endings, and whatnot, which is a pretty good amount for 40 bones. But this game, if I took it more as a speed run and really went fast, would be like 2 to 3 hours at most. The only replayable part besides the innate urge for any FNAF fan to find secrets is only the fact that you need to play it twice for one of the endings, which only adds like 30 minutes to an hour of content depending on your skill level. That is why this game is a mess. It has so many good qualities and is overall an amazing game, but the messy gameplay of the cat and mouse sections, the inconsistency of the experience and design, especially in chases and the big set pieces, and the price point that doesn't match such a short experience makes the game feel like a mess. It felt like it ended before it could get good. It felt like the story they wanted to share was a side game amount put into a big game release. This game, in my metric, in just a gameplay aspect, is a 7.5 out of 10. It has so much going for it. This game is good, but not great. It pains me because I love the design of this game, whether the man or the costumes, the animatronics, and even the story for how narrow it is to the franchise at the moment is beyond awesome to me. But it is still a mess. I would recommend getting the game if you are a hardcore FNAF fan, but if not, you're looking for quality time and the price isn't an issue, I would also buy it. But if you want a game that you can really get engrossed in and sink some real time into it, I wouldn't. Or, of course, if you're not doing too well on money either, I wouldn't either. Oh yeah, predictions. Let's see how good my past self was. The game's story and main leads were definitely better, leading to a more enjoyable experience that didn't feel watered down by the characters. I did find this game to be a lot scarier as well in its artistic design and chases. I do think, though, that they could have built tension a lot better, but that's neither here or there. And lastly, the more traditional segments didn't happen. I knew it was a shot in the dark, to say the least, but I also think it would be a great way to appease both sides of fans while keeping the game fresh. Okay, FNAF is over. I can rest. Son of a bitch!